I think it's something that we can sometimes fall into the trap of painting child labour as something that's black and white, and it's so much more grey than black and white. There are cases where it's really black, there are cases where it's really white. I'm sure every child has at one time tried to tell their mum and dad that making them wash the dishes is child labour and they shouldn't have to do it. Definitely not child labour, that's child work, that's okay. There are cases where kids are really clearly exploited, and there is a fairly technical definition and fairly clear indicators for what is child labour. In our experience, most of the kids we work with are engaged in the grey area. So often with child labour, we kind of look behind the kids to see who's the baddie, who's the one that's out there with the whip, making them work, 12, 14, 16 hours a day, who's the one that's abusing them when they get home and taking all their money. And most of the time that person's not there. Most of the time the kids are on the street, the kids are out working beside their parents because they need the money themselves. They're doing it because they want to survive. They want to survive and they want their family to stay together. So they're opting out of school on their own because they want to be working. So I think any program that looks at child labour and child work needs to be really sensitive to the needs of the kids, and it's not just about saying kids can't work, we can't buy things that kids make, we can't support anything that's got anything to do with children. We've got to be really fair, and in many developing countries there's probably going to be, like even in Australia, when most of us, when we're 14, 15, start working and we're still children, but we can balance work with school and other requirements. And I think that's something that we really need to take into account, that in developing countries, children are a really important part of the family. They want their families to survive and prosper. So what we need to do is tailor programs that allow them to get their education, to have their rest, to have their time to play, and to also be able to be satisfied of their basic needs. And if that means that they work, they can do it in safe environments, that they can be protected, they can be justly compensated.